Okay, July 9th, 2020. This reading task again. The giraffe and the pelly and me. It wasn't long before we came to the gate of a Hampshire house, and as the giraffe moved slowly up the great white driveway, we all began to feel just a little bit nervous. What's he like, this Duke? The giraffe asked me. I don't know, I said, but he's very, very famous and very rich. People say he has 25 gardeners just to look after his flower beds. Soon the huge house itself came into view, and what a house it was! It was like a palace. It was bigger than a palace. Just look at those windows, cried the monkey. They'll keep us going forever. Then suddenly we heard a man's voice a short distance away to the right. I want those big black ones at the top of the tree. The man was shouting. Get me those great big black ones. We peered round the bushes and saw an oldish man with an immense white mustache standing under a tall cherry tree and pointing his walking stick in the air. There was a ladder against the tree, and another man, who was probably a gardener, was up the ladder. Get me those great big black juice ones, right at the very top. The old man was shouting. I can't reach them, Your Grace. The gardener called back. The ladder isn't long enough. Damnation, shouted the Duke. I was so looking forward to eating those big ones. Here we go, the pelican whispered to me, and with a swish and a swoop, he carried me up to the very top of the cherry tree, and there he perched. Pick them, Billy, he whispered. Pick them quickly and put them in my beak. The gardener got such a shock, he fell off the ladder, down below us. The Duke was shouting, My gun! Get me my gun! Some damnable monster of a bird is stealing my best cherries. Be off with you, sir. Go away. Those are my cherries, not yours. I'll have you shot for this, sir. Where is my gun? Hurry, Billy, whispered the pelican. Hurry, hurry, hurry. My gun! The Duke was shouting to the gardener. Get me my gun, you idiot! I'll have that thieving bird for breakfast. You see if I don't. I've picked them out, I whispered to the pelican. At once, the pelly flew down and landed right beside the furious figure of the Duke of Hampshire, who was prancing about and waving his stick in the air. Your cherries, Your Grace, I said as I leaned over the edge of the pelican's beak and offered a handful to the Duke. The Duke was staggered. He reeled back, and his eyes popped nearly out of their socket. Great Scott, he gasped. Good Lord, what's this? Who are you? And now the giraffe, with the monkey dancing about on her back, emerged suddenly from the bushes. The Duke stared at them. He looked as though he was about to have a fit. Who are these creatures? He bellowed. Has the whole world gone completely dotty? We are the window cleaners. We are the window cleaners, sang out the monkey. We will polish your glass till it's shining like brass, and it sparkles like sun on the sea. We will work for your grace till we are blue in the face, the giraffe and the pelly and me. You asked us to come and see you, the giraffe said. The truth was at last beginning to dawn on the Duke. He put a cherry into his mouth and chewed it slowly. Then he spat out the stone. I like the way you picked these cherries for me, he said. Could you also pick my apples in the autumn? We could, of course we could. We all shouted. And who are you? The Duke said, pointing his stick at me. He's our business manager, the giraffe said. His name is Billy. We go nowhere without him. Very well, the Duke muttered. Come along with me, and let's see if you are any good at cleaning windows. I climbed out of the pelican's beak, and the kindly old Duke took me by the hand. As well, all walked toward the house. When we got there, the Duke said, "What happened next?" "It is all very simple, Your Grace," the giraffe replied. "I'm the ladder, the pelly is the bucket, and the monkey is the cleaner. Watch us go." With that, the famous window cleaning gun sprang into action. The monkey jumped down from the giraffe's back and turned on the garden tap. The pelican held his great beak under the tap until it was full of water. Then, with a wonderful springy leap, the monkey leaped up once again onto the giraffe's back. From there, he scrambled, as easily as if he were climbing a tree, up the long neck of the giraffe until he stood balancing on the very top of the head, over her head. The pelican remained standing on the ground beside us, looking up at the giraffe. "We'll do the top floor first," the giraffe shouted down. "Bring the water up, please." The Duke called out, "Don't worry about the two top floors. You can't reach them anyway." "Who said we can't reach them?" the giraffe called back. "I do," the Duke said firmly, "and I'm not having any of you risking your silly necks around here." If you wish to be friends with a giraffe, never say anything bad about its neck. Its neck is its proudest possession. "What's wrong with my neck?" snapped the giraffe. "Don't argue with me, you foolish creature," cried the Duck. "If you can't reach it, you can't reach it, and that's the end of it. Now get on with your work." "Your Grace," the giraffe said, giving the Duke a small superior smile, "there are no windows in the world I cannot reach with this magical neck of mine." The monkey, who was dancing about most dangerously on top of the giraffe's head, cried out, "Show him, Giraffe! Go on and show him what you can do with your magical neck." The next moment, the giraffe's neck, which heaven knows was long enough already, began to grow longer and longer, and higher and higher and higher, until at last the giraffe's head with the monkey on top of it was level with the windows of the top floor. The giraffe looked down from her great height and said to the Duke, "How's that?" The Duke was speechless. So was I. It was the most magical thing I had ever seen, more magical even than the pelican's patterned beak. Up above us, the giraffe was beginning to sing a little song, but she sang so softly I could hardly catch the words. I think it went something like this. "My neck can stretch terribly high, much higher than eagles can fly. If I venture to show just how high it would go, you'd love sight of my head in the sky." The pelican, with his huge beak full of water, flew up and perched on one of the top floor window sills near the monkey. And now the great window cleaning business really began. The speed with which the team worked was astonishing. As soon as one window was done, the giraffe moved the monkey over to the next one and the pelican followed. When all the fourth floor windows on that side of the house were finished, the giraffe simply drew in her magical neck until the monkey was level with the third floor windows, and off they went again. "Amazing!" cried the Duke. "Astonishing! Remarkable! Incredible! I haven't seen out of any of my windows for 40 years. Now I shall be able to sit indoors and enjoy the view. Suddenly, I saw all three of the window cleaners stop dead in their tracks. They seemed to freeze against the wall of the house. None of them moved. What's happened to them? The Duke asked me. What's gone wrong? I don't know, I answered. Then the giraffe, with the monkey on her head, tiptoed very gingerly away from the house and came toward us. The pelican flew with them. The giraffe came up very close to the Duke and whispered, Your Grace, there is a man in one of the bedrooms on the third floor. He's opening all the drawers and taking things out. He's got a pistol. The Duke jumped about a foot in the air. Which room? He snapped. Show me at once. It's the one on the third floor where the window is wide open, the giraffe whispered. By God, cried the Duke. That's the Duchess's bedroom. He's after her jewels. Call the police. Summon the army. Bring up the kennel. Charge with the light brigade. But even as he spoke, the pelican was flying up into the air. As he flew, he turned himself upside down and tipped the window cleaning water out of his beak. Then I saw the top half of that marvelous patterned beak sliding out of his head, ready for action. What's that crazy bird up to? Cried the Duke. Wait and see, shouted the monkey. Hold your breath, old man. Hold your nose. Hold your horses and watch the pelly go. Hold your nose. Like a bullet, the pelican flew in through the open window, and 5 seconds later out, he came again with his great orange beak firmly closed. He landed on the lawn beside the Duke. A tremendous banging noise was coming from inside the pelican's beak. It sounded as though someone was using a sledgehammer against it from the inside. He's got them, cried the monkey. Pelly's got the burglar in his beak. Well done, sir, shouted the Duke, hopping about with excitement. Suddenly, he pulled the handle of his walking stick upwards, and out of the hollow inside of the stick itself, he drew a long, thin, sharp, shining sword. I'll run him through, he shouted, flourishing the sword like a fencer. Open up, pelican. Let me get at him. I'll run the bounder through before he knows what happened to him. I'll spike him like a pat of butter. I'll feed this gizzard to my foxhounds. But the pelican did not open his beak. He kept it firmly closed and shook his head at the Duke. The giraffe shouted, The burglar is armed with a pistol, your grace. If Pelly lets him out, now he will shoot us out. He can be armed with a machine gun for all I care, bellowed the Duke. His massive mustaches bristling like brushwood. I'll handle the blighter. Open up, sir. Open up. Suddenly, there was an ear-splitting bang, and the pelican leaped 20 feet into the air. So did the Duke. Watch out! The Duke shouted, taking 10 rapid paces backward. He's trying to shoot his way out, and pointing his sword at the pelican, he bellowed, Keep that beak close, sir. Don't you dare let him out. He will murder us all. Shake him up, Pelly, cried the giraffe. Rattle his bones. Teach him not to do it again. The pelican shook his head so fast from side to side that the beak became a blur, and the man inside must have felt he was being scrambled like eggs. Well done, Pelly, cried the giraffe. You are doing a great job. Keep on shaking him so he doesn't fire that pistol again. At this point, a lady with an enormous chest and flaming orange hair came flying out of the house, screaming, My jewels! Somebody stolen my jewels, my diamond tiara, my diamond necklace, my diamond bracelets, my diamond earrings, my diamond rings. They've had the lot. My rooms have been ransacked. And then this massive female, who 55 years ago had been a world-famous opera singer, suddenly burst into song. My diamonds are over the ocean, my diamonds are over the sea, my diamonds were pinched from my bedroom. Oh, bring back my diamond to me, bring. We were so bowled over by the power of the lady's lungs that all of us, excepting the pelican, who had to keep his beak closed, joined in the chorus. Bring back, oh bring back my diamond to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back my diamond to me. Calm yourself, Harinta, said the Duke. He pointed to the pelican and said, This clever bird, this brilliant bungalow-catching creature has saved the day. The bounders in his beak. The Duchess stared at the pelican. The pelican stared back at the Duchess and gave her a wink. If he's in there, cried the Duchess, why don't you let him out? Then you can run him through with that famous sword with yours. I want my diamond. Open your big bird. No, no, said the Duke. He's got a pistol. He'll murder us all. Someone must have called the police because suddenly no less than 4 squad cars came racing towards us with their sirens screaming. Within seconds, we were surrounded by 6 policemen, and the Duke was shouting to them, The villain you are after is inside the beak of that bird. Stand by to collar him. And to the pelican, he said, Get ready to open up. Are you ready? Steady? Go! Open her up! The pelican opened his gigantic beak, and immediately the policeman pounced upon the burglar, who was crouching inside. They snatched his pistol away from him and dragged him out and put handcuffs on his wrists. Great Scott! Shouted the chief of police. Is the cobra himself. The who? The what? Everyone asked, Who is the cobra? The cobra is the cleverest and the most dangerous cat burglar in the world, said the chief of police. He must have climbed up the drain pipe. The cobra can climb up anything. My diamond! Screamed the Duchess. I want my diamonds. Where are my diamonds? Here they are, cried the chief of police, fishing great handful of jewelry from the bunglow's pocket. The Duchess was so overcome with relief that she fell to the ground in the faint. When the police had taken away the fearsome burglar known as the cobra, and the fainting Duchess had been carried into the house by her servants, the old Duke stood on the lawn with the giraffe, the pelican, the monkey, and me. Look! Cried the monkey, that rotten burglar's bullet has made a hole in poor Pelly's beak. That's done it, said the pelican. Now it won't be any use for holding water when we clean the windows. Don't you worry about that, my dear Pelly, said the Duke, patting him on the beak. My chauffeur will soon put a patch over it the same way he meant the tire on the roads. Right now, we have far more important things to talk about than a little hole in the beak. We stood there waiting to see what the Duke was going to say next. Now listen to me, all of you, he said. Those diamonds were worth millions, millions and millions, and you have saved them. The monkey nodded. The giraffe smiled. The pelican blushed. No reward is too great for you. The Duke went on. I'm therefore going to make you an offer which I hope will give you pleasure. I hereby invite the giraffe and the pelican and the monkey to live on my estate for the rest of their lives. I shall give you my best and largest hay barn as your private house, central heating, showers, a kitchen, and anything else you desire for your comfort will be installed. In return, you will keep my windows clean, and pick my cherries and my apples. If the pelican is willing, perhaps it will also give me a ride in his beak now and then. A pleasure, your grace, cried the pelican. Will you like it right now? Later, said the duke, I will have one afternoon tea. At this point, the giraffe gave a nervous little cough and looked up at the sky. Is there a problem? Asked the duke. If there is, do please let me hear it. I don't like to sound ungrateful or pushy, murmured the giraffe. But we do have one very pressing problem. We are all absolutely famished. We haven't eaten for days. My dear giraffe, cried the duke, how very thoughtless of me. Food is no problem around here. I'm afraid it is not quite as easy as all that, said the giraffe. You see, I myself happen to be. Don't tell me, cried the duck. I know it already. I'm an expert on the animal of Africa. The moment I saw you, I knew you were no ordinary giraffe. You are of the generous variety, are you not? You are absolutely right, your grace, said the giraffe. But the trouble with us is that we only eat. You don't have to tell me that either, cried the duke. I know perfectly well a generous giraffe can eat only one kind of food. Am I not right in thinking that the pink and the purple flowers of the tinkle tinkle tree are your only diet? Yes, sighed the giraffe, and that's been my problem ever since I arrived on these shores. That is no problem at all here at Hampshire's house, said the duke. Look over there, my dear giraffe, and you will see the only plantation of tinkle tinkle trees in the entire country. The giraffe looked. She gave a gasp of astonishment, and at first she was so overwhelmed that she couldn't even speak. Great tears of joy began running down her cheeks. Help yourself, said the duke. Eat all you want. Oh, my scented souls, gasped the giraffe. Oh, my naked neck. I cannot believe what I'm saying. The next moment she was galloping full speed across the lawns and whinnying with excitement. And the last we saw of her, she was burying her head in the beautiful pink and purple flowers that blossomed on the top of the trees all around her. As for the monkey, the duke went on, I think he also will be pleased with what I have to offer. All over my estate there are thousands of giant nut trees. Nuts! Cried the monkey. What kind of nuts? Walnuts, of course, said the duke. Walnuts! Screamed the monkey. No, the walnuts! You don't really mean walnuts. You are pulling my leg. You are joking. You can't be serious. I must have heard wrong. There's a walnut tree right over there, the duke said, pointing. The monkey took off like an arrow, and a few seconds later he was high up in the branches of the walnut tree, cracking the nuts and guzzling what was inside. That leaves only the pelly, said the Duke. Yes, said the pelican nervously, but I'm afraid that what I eat does not grow on trees. I only eat fish. Would it be too much trouble, I wonder, if I were to ask you for a reason? Oh my god, oh my god.